Hey, it's September 13th, 2018. I was just thinking about how important the write-in candidacy or the write-in ability for the voter to write a candidate in the election of 2018 here in the state of Utah. And I have a message for the media in protecting that choice. Don't you think it would be a good story as far as the choice for Utah voters to do a story that, featured the ballot box and explained to voters how their choice is expanded with the write-in ability? The write-in candidacy is a specific muscle of the body politic. And when it involves the choice, just, not educating and informing, that's what the media's job is to inform the public. And who in the media in the state of Utah has actually done a story about how the voter can write in a candidate? I think that would be a great story to run. And as a write-in candidate that actually defended the Constitution, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let me just ask that first question. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Would you rather vote for someone who actually stood up for the Constitution? In the highest office of the land, the office of the presidency. I sued Senator John McCain for having two statutory citizenships, or two acts of Congress defining his citizenship. If you're a natural-born citizen, like I am, born in the U.S. to U.S. citizen parents, which is the only unique qualification in the office of the president, besides the age and the length of time compared to the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. The U.S. Senate and the U.S. House doesn't require a natural-born citizen. It requires a citizen. There is a difference in qualifications. And I actually stood up and took Senator John McCain to court on his lack of qualifications. And the federal judge ruled in that case that it was to the winner goes the responsibility. So it was Barack Obama who was then accountable and responsible. And so I kept that lawsuit going on the same principle, defending the office of the president against Senator Barack Obama in 2012. And took that clear to the U.S. Supreme Court, 1252-76, and included a cold case posse investigation by a sheriff's office in that lawsuit. Do you think that a sheriff's investigation is lawful? And with Barack Obama's, there's two forensic specialists in two different countries that determined that his long-form birth certificate was a fabrication. And they actually discovered the birth certificate that was used as the base, which was Johanna Ani's. And they wiped out some of it and used that as a base. That's stealing identity. Do you think identity theft is a problem? Do you think that's something that Barack Obama should be rewarded for? Stealing identifications. Come on. And I took that clear to the U.S. Supreme Court. 1252-76, 1493-96. And 10th Circuit has still got a pending courtesy copy to the U.S. Supreme Court petition for individual Judge Justice Gorsuch. 1740-55. The media has access to all these documents. They have the ability to go in and pull the documents. They have the ability to read that courtesy copy. They also have the ability to show the executive order that was proposed to President Trump, that's been sent to him, Rudy Giuliani, Jeff Sessions, the D.C. district, federal district attorneys, West and East, and compared to Mitt Romney in 2012 being the GOP nominee and not caring about the qualifications for the office of the president. Now, I think that is a pretty big difference. A pretty big difference. Utah media. And the only way that Utahns are going to have a chance to vote in the U.S. Senate office, or for the U.S. Senate office, for a candidate that actually stood up for the Constitution. Something that you think, I guess, is a good thing. Do you think that's a good thing? The U.S. Constitution? Oh, I'd love to hear you say that the U.S. Constitution wasn't a good thing, and I'd love to hear you say that the office of the presidency ought to be filled with people who steal identifications and fabricate their own identities. The only way Utahns are going to have a chance to vote for a candidate that stood up for the Constitution in defending our U.S. elections from fraud and fabrication and forgery is to be able to vote for a write-in candidate, myself, for U.S. Senate. So it's a perfect excuse, actually, if you need one, to highlight and make a special report on how Utahns can vote for a write-in candidate. If you don't feature that, people go to the ballot booth and they often think that their only choice is those people who are on the ballot. Many people that vote don't even know about the write-in candidacy. It's not it's not even a choice in their mind. They're ignorant. They have a lack of knowledge about that. And the media could shine the light on that and explain to them how their choice is expanded. Now, do you believe in choice? Or do you just believe in the not having a choice? Or do you just want Utahns to have this much choice and not the full choice? Which is it, Utah media? Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, radio stations, television, radio, newspaper, print. Is it not the media's responsibility, in many instances, to bring information, especially to the voter? Or is it the media's plan to cover up a choice by not explaining that these voting booths actually have mechanisms in them where you can write in a candidate? Now, I think it would be a good explanation if Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, actually in a special report, went to the county county clerk's office and said, listen, we'd like to educate the Utah voters on the choice, the whole choice that's available to them when it comes to voting. And a special feature of this is the write-in candidate. How do these voting booths accept, and how do you write a candidate's name in? Do you not think that is a good story explaining the full choice for Utah voters? Or do you think that it's better to cover it up? Which one? Especially when there is a U.S. Senate candidate who has stood up for the Constitution in so much bigger fashion than a candidate or the two candidates for the major parties. So the proposal of the story is there before you. And you have given the major party candidates big media time. Let's just face it, you've given Mitt Romney quite a few stories. You've given Jenny Wilson quite a few stories. Isn't it time, in an information, educational way, to explain to Utah the choice of a write-in candidate and some of the positive things that this write-in candidate offers as far as defending the Constitution of the United States of America? I just think that's a good story. That would be a great story. And so I put this proposal out there for the Utah news media. Have a good day.